This might be the most important video I make regarding Bitcoin's top in 2026. So if you're interested in taking profits and selling crypto at the right time, you want to watch this video. I don't care if this doesn't get a lot of views, because I believe this video will be revisited later into 2026 and even in the futures, because I've been right on a lot of these videos. You can go back into my XRP videos, which I'll use an example here and talk about. But this is going to be a deep dive into where Bitcoin can possibly be topping out into 2026, its enemy year. And I'm going to get to that, right? Bitcoin's enemy year. Why is it its enemy year 2026? But in this video, it's, we're going to talk about Chinese astrology and in correlation to Bitcoin's performance. Okay. And if you guys didn't know, I made plenty of videos with XRP, Chinese astrology, regarding when XRP would have a pivotal year. And that happened in 2024, which was a dragon year, and XRP was founded in the dragon year. Okay, so I'll bring back that later on in this video, use an example. But let's take a look here about Bitcoin, and we're going to compare Bitcoin's previous enemy years. Okay, so just please have an open mind as you watch this video. Stay tuned, because we got a lot to deep dive here, and we're going to take this one step at a time. Okay, so if you didn't know, Bitcoin was founded here January 3rd, 2009. As you can see right here, this is when Bitcoin was created, right in mine, starting the block of the chain, January 3rd, 2009, which is a rat year. Okay, you can see right here, you put in the date, right? Rat year. Even though it was a rat year was basically the entire 2008, I believe, right? This was like towards the end of the rat year. And that's the thing about Chinese astrology. It's not as soon as the new year starts. It's like usually in January or February. In fact, the next Chinese astrology year, which is going to be a horse year, begins February 17, 2026. The reason why I'm bringing this out here regarding Bitcoin being founded in the rat year, which was 2009, January 3rd, 2009, is that the enemy sign to the rat is the horse. As you can see right here, across from it is the enemy sign, and that is the horse. Okay, which means that it's probably not going to be a good year for Bitcoin in 2026. Now, one thing I want to clarify here, and I scare a lot of you guys off, is like, oh my gosh, as soon as 2026, February, the horse year starts, February 17, 2026, Bitcoin is going to dump. It's going to go to, back to 30K or something like that. One thing I want to clarify, and you see a lot of this from people out there in the Chinese astrology realm that don't really understand crypto and charts. And they're saying, sell all your crypto before February. So, basically before the horse year starts. And they really don't understand how this works, because Bitcoin can explode into 2026, its enemy year, top out mid 2026 or even towards the end of 2026, and then that would still align with it being its enemy year, even though it's putting new all-time highs. It's topping out, and if since then it's coming down and probably capitulate, right, have a bigger drop in 2027, that will still align with it being its enemy year. Okay, so I just want to give a big heads up, because it doesn't mean that Bitcoin has topped out or is going to top out February 17 or the beginning of the horse year. Okay, so I just want you guys to understand that first. Now, let's take a look here at the previous horse year, which, as you can see, was 2014. Okay, the previous horse year was 2014, which was right here. I have this all organized here in the vertical line. So this was January 2014, and this was the end of 2014, December 2014. And you can see, what did Bitcoin do, right? I mean, Bitcoin was around, 1,000, before then it was around 1,139. We had a drop. It was like around 800, 900 actually. And then it dumped all the way to like 295. So it was an awful year. This was Bitcoin's first enemy year. After it was created here in the rat year, it experienced its first enemy year in 2014, a horse year. And if we actually measure it, right, we actually measure here from wick to wick here to the highest, the lowest it went, 72% drop. So I had a 72% drop. Now this doesn't mean that Bitcoin's gonna have a 72% drop in 2026 Horseer again, but it just shows you how Bitcoin, had the worst year ever since it got created. It had the worst year in 2014, and then, it wasn't until I think 2018 that I think it dropped more, right after the all-time high. It went like 84%. So that was a pretty big deal right there in 2014, which was Bitcoin's really biggest dump here and its biggest test in its enemy year, 2014. Okay, so we can even look back too. So that was its enemy year, but we can also look back too and be like, okay, what about Bitcoin's positive year, right? When was the last time it was a rat year? Well, that was 2020. 2020 was a rat year, and you can look here at the rat year, which was right here, okay, right here. So this was the beginning of 2020, right? Obviously, Bitcoin had that big scare right there, that big bear trap, okay? But since then, look at that. You see that huge rise here, parabolic here, going into 2021, which is also a positive year, right? Being an ox year, with the rat being good with the ox. But you can see how it's like, oh my gosh, I thought this was Bitcoin's positive year. Why are we dumping here? Why are we, but this was the big retest. This was a bear trap, a mega bear trap. And since then, we can measure here. We can see how much Bitcoin went up from that drop. I mean, it's something absolutely crazy. We can see, 765%, right? 780, 65% around there. That's how much it was up in its positive rat year. You compare that to the horse year, that is obviously night and day. So I'm just trying to show you guys here to have an open mind to this, because this, when we look back in history, which Bitcoin doesn't even have a huge history, right? It's not like it's as much of a history as the stock market. We look back and we're like, okay, this it's making a lot of sense. So we fast forward here, right? And we're like, okay, well, Bitcoin is it's up already it's up a lot, but it hasn't really made that last leg run, right? That parabolic run yet. And what can easily happen is us really have that parabolic run, right? Where we're exploding to the all-time highs here, maybe even maybe even go over a 200K. But I would expect Bitcoin to do something like that and then top out in 2026. I also want to bring out here the Samuel Benner chart. And if you didn't know this chart, this is that famous chart from Samuel Benner that has been really accurate, right? When we look back here in the times to sell, the times of pandemics and stuff like that, we'll look right here at the top, right? The years of pandemics have occurred 2019. I mean, that was pretty accurate right there. Even 1999, or there was a pandemic in 1999 regarding 2000 coming in and people freaking out about, the end of the world and stuff like that. But you can also see right here, the middle are the years of good times, high prices, and time to sell stocks and values of all kinds. Crypto didn't exist back then when he made this chart, but values of all kinds, including crypto. So we look right here, 1999, before the dot-com bubble crash. Amazing time to sell. 2007, before the 2008 crash. Amazing time to sell, right? And then we have right here 2026. So, it's letting us know that just like 2007 was the best time to sell before the 2008 crash, 2006 is going to be a time of high prices of all kinds of values and the best time to sell them, possibly before 2027 or the end of 2026. And it's very interesting too, because the stock market has a lot of ox energy. Okay, it's I believe Wall Street and the stock market overall is ox. Okay, and we know 2027 is going to be the goat. Here it says sheep, but it's actually the goat, and we know the goat is enemies with the ox. So, the stock market being an ox and 2027 being a goat, and the Samuel Bennett chart letting us know, right, that 2026 is probably going to be a good time to sell before 2027. That shows a lot right there, in my opinion. And again, we got to have open-minded. It doesn't mean that all these things are going to happen. It just shows, I'm just trying to show you here in connection with the chart, right? In connection to how the stock market is at all-time highs. Bitcoin is at all-time highs. Like, we're gearing up here for a finale, and it's all falling in place with the Samuel Bennett chart and Chinese astrology, as you can see right here, right, with the ox, right, the ox and the goat, and also the rat and the horse, right? Rat in connection with the horse. Okay, so yeah. Another thing too, guys, is the fact here that XRP. This is XRP, and I made so much videos here when XRP. You can go back in my YouTube. I have all the proof right there. When XRP was around 50, 48, in this level right here, I said, I made so many videos. You can go back and look. And I said, look, XRP is going to have an amazing 2024. This is the time to buy. And I bought a ton. XRP is my biggest coin in terms of profit. Okay. And a big reason for that was preparing for 2024, because 2024 was a dragon year. XRP was founded in a dragon year. And it's kind of funny too, because the SEC that went against XRP was founded in a dog year, which is enemy signs with dragon, right? We got the dog and the dragon right there, enemy signs. And it's the SEC, which is a dragon, went against XRP. And what's insane is, look, I said, before 2024, I said, look, XRP, you want to be buying this coin. It's gonna have a turning point in 2024. Doesn't mean it's gonna go to all-time highs, which it didn't. It was close to breaking all-time highs. But the entire video, I just explained how it's gonna have a pivotal year that it's gonna shape the rest of XRP's future. And if you look back here, we can see, wow, 2024 was a pivotal year, the dragon year. XRP's founded in the dragon year, because not just based on how the chart looks, but based on what happened with Trump winning the election and being very pro crypto and against the SEC, and also the SEC losing to XRP, right? There was a big loss, and Gary Gensler also being resigning in that same year. So it's just like, wow. It's insane how this happened here perfectly. And what's insane is that entire 2024, XRP was just flat. It was just choppy. And then it wasn't until November where it went from like 50 cents all the way to like $1.98, right? And then $2. So I'm just showing you here an example here for XRP. And we're combining this with Bitcoin, okay? Because I just want to show you guys here how this is all connected, really, right? You can also see right here, Bitcoin 2024 also had a good year, because we look at the trines, right? So in Chinese astrology, there are trines, which are like the friendly signs, right? So the pig is friends with the rabbit, the cat and the goat. The rat is good friends with the monkey and the dragon. 2024 being a dragon year, Bitcoin did pretty well, right? You can see right here, beginning of 2024, Bitcoin at 41K. The end of 2024, Bitcoin was like at 107K. So we can see that because the rat and the dragon are positive signs together, right? But next year, we want to prepare ahead in time. One thing I would say is, if you see it's a euphoric time, just like it says in the Samuel Bennett chart, times of high prices, Bitcoin over 150K, you see this euphoria, you see altcoin season, you see the stock market at all-time highs, which it already is. And what's interesting too is that, let's say this does happen, Bitcoin goes to like 150K plus, 180K, 200K, I don't know. Maybe tops out mid 2026 or towards the end of 2026. it's very well likely that the stock market will follow into 2027, its enemy year. Okay. And we can also, I mean, we can look back at how the stock market is kind of, Bitcoin kind of front runs the stock market plenty of times, right? You can see right here how high the stock market is here, the S&P 500, but you can see how we top out here until 2022, right? January 2022, when crypto, Bitcoin, and everything topped out in November. So, I mean, that was like 3 months ahead there, right? Before the stock market really found the top. So, you know, we know as soon as Bitcoin tops out and the crypto market tops out, it's not going to be too soon until the stock market tops out. It's going to be in the same time frame. Okay, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. Thank you guys for watching till the end. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'm definitely, comment below if you guys want more content regarding this, because I want to keep you guys updated, and you know, just share this with you guys here as time goes on, because I really look, I've always been bullish on 2026, even like a year plus ago, when everyone was saying the top would be in 2025. I said no. I mean, there's a big chance we can, you know, go into 2026, seeing how Bitcoin has been hasn't really had that parabolic run yet, right? And I said this plenty of times. It looks very similar to 2017, which ironically was Trump's first term here. 2017, it was, you know, from 2016 to 2020, 2017, right? It wasn't towards the end of 2017 when it really went up and made those parabolic runs right there. So we can have those parabolic runs in 2026, top out in 2026. Everyone's going to be confused because they're going to be mad at all the people saying, you know, sell all your crypto before 2026 because it's a horse year and Bitcoin is going to dump, which means all coins are going to dump. They're all going to be mad at those people saying that, because I believe it's going to be amazing into 2026. It's just going to top out later, mid to end of 2026. That's my prediction. Okay. And the big reason for that is the charts, because it's the charts that tell me that. Okay. With all my indicators, which you guys can have access to, if you guys are interested, right? We have the Bitcoin log waves here, where Bitcoin, you know, the previous cycles, we come up here into the red zone and we basically top out in those zones, and we're waiting for it to really explode and possibly go over 180K plus. Okay, and like I said, Bitcoin topping out into 2026 aligns with its enemy year. It would make sense that it tops. Yeah, it's breaking all-time highs, but it's the pivotal year where it tops out, right? It finds a ceiling that it can go up higher, and it tops out. And then 2027 will probably have that capitulation like 2022, right? We topped out in the ox year, and then we had the capitulation here in, I believe, a tiger year. What was it? What was 2022? Yeah, tiger year. That's insane. I forgot to talk about this too, because Bitcoin capitulated into 2022, right? Which was a tiger year. And guess what? Look at that, right? I mean, yeah, Bitcoin capitulated in 2022, a tiger year. And we can see how the monkey is enemies with the tiger, but the monkey is good friends with the rat, right? So it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, the monkey is enemies, big enemies with the tiger, but the monkey is friends with the rat. So, I mean, that makes sense that the rat would have this bad connection with the tiger too, right? Because they're in the same brine, right? So again, you know, just good to be open-minded on this. I just wanted to share this with you guys, and I'm definitely going to be making some more content on this. I just want to thank you guys again. If you guys want a good crypto wallet, check out the Safe 7 Trezor Safe 7. You can use my link. It'll help out my channel a lot. It's the one I recommend. It's open source and it has a great user interface. And let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this video? Do you guys think 2026 horse year, enemy year for Bitcoin, that's when it tops out? Or none of this makes sense, none of this matters, it's just random and all these things? We'll see, right? We'll take it one day at a time. I'll keep you guys updated for sure. And I just want to say thank you guys again. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. And again, you guys can check out all the links in the link bio below. All right, guys. Peace.